Good morning, you guys. Hey, you guys. So today is the morning of the audition. I'm going to take you through, with me, the process of mental preparation, the wardrobe or the clothes you want to wear for your audition, the materials that you want to bring with you, and the process of your check-in and what you want to do when you get there, and your slate. It'll probably be a short video, but that'll make up for that incredibly long video that you had to watch the first time. But you have to admit, it was a pretty informative video, right? Am I right? Am I right? Okay, let's get started. Now before we do anything, it's very important that you eat some breakfast, because your body's just going to be jittery and you're going to be weird in the head and everything's not going to quite sit right unless you have some food. Now unfortunately, I'm so nervous right now I can't eat a thing, but I have to force myself. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to eat an apple. That'll give me something, won't it? Just a little nutriment. Alright, see you in a bit. So I gotta confess, I did a real bad thing. Don't ever do this. I have not yet printed my headshots. I thought I had some left over, some really good professional ones, but I don't, so I have to come and have them printed. Mental preparation part 1. There are two types of people when it comes to getting ready for their auditions. Well, I should say, one type of person breaking down into two categories. That one type of person is everybody gets really nervous before an audition. It just happens. Now, when you break it into two categories, it's how do you deal with that nervousness? Type of person 1 wants a lot of time to just be calm, do stress-relieving exercises, whatever. The second type of person is actually the type of person I am, although today we're going with category 1. And that second type of person is a kind of person who likes to stay really busy, not really think about it, just kind of keep it off their minds, keep those nerves clear. And then once the audition comes up, boom, you've already got everything ready to go, so that as soon as the audition comes up, you get there, you check in, you go in, and you do it. You don't have time to be as nervous. I kind of prefer that, but I kind of feel like, at least for me, the auditions don't come out as well. Now, today I was lucky. Today they changed my work schedule to an evening shift, so I happen to be free all morning, so I'm able to prepare for that, where usually I wouldn't be. So that's why we're going with type 1 today. Seeing as it's still about an hour or two away from the audition, what do you do when it's that far away and you're super nervous? Well, what I do, I just drink a lot of water, and I'm constantly saying that monologue over and over and over. Because remember, I got this material really early, and so I had to prepare for it. I had no excuse not to. I hope that's gonna be enough. Just remember to breathe. Just breathe. I believe if you take those nerves and you harness them and you take ownership of those things, you can control that nervous energy which is driving you insane. If you're super nervous and you feel shaky and your heart's going 100 miles an hour and you feel lightheaded because of it and everything, like, that's actually a lot of negative energy in your body. Just use it as energy, as fuel. If you go in there, if you take ownership of that and take all that nervous energy, suddenly you'll get like a burst of real energy. Because that's already there, it's just negative, and you're just gonna try to make it positive. Easier said than done, right? Now the next thing I'm gonna talk about is wardrobe. It's very important to look your best when you go into an audition because it shows you care. If you go in there looking like you just came off the streets, your leisure wear, everything, they're going to see you as lazy, they're going to see that you're not committed to it, and they're going to interpret that as you bringing that same kind of mentality into their process when they want you completely engaged and willing to do the work. So, I recommend looking as professional as possible. That means a button-up shirt, slacks, a jacket if you have it. Wear accessories that you feel make you look professional, but not like you're going out to a club. You know, you don't want to look nice like you're going out for a night on the town. You want to look nice like you're going for a job interview, but put a little personality in it too. Now for me, I've got some options. I've got some things that I could wear, but I think for today, I'm going to go old school, and I'm going to wear just a plain red shirt because that was one of those shirts that I used to wear all the time back in the day that I had a lot of good luck. So we're going to go with that one. Shirt. Slacks. Jacket. Now for shoes, this is where I'm going to add a little character. Shoes. And then for my accessory, bow tie. Sunglasses. Something rotten. Now, I'm not usually a musical person, but it's an amazing show. It was amazing. Oh, but there's more. That's the program. Now we're going to talk about what you want to bring to your audition. You want to make sure you're completely prepared. There's just a few things, so let's just dive right into it. Whee! Notebook. Pencil. It's important to bring these things in case, I don't know, you have any extra ideas, got some kind of feedback that you want to write down. Maybe you're going to run into somebody while you're there, be it somebody behind the table or in front of the table that wants to exchange information with you. There could be any number of things, but always be ready to take notes. A headshot. And another headshot. I actually recommend bringing 3 headshots because more is better than less. What happens if the casting director is there and they want a headshot, director of the show is there and they want a headshot, artistic director is there and they want a headshot, maybe the casting associate, somebody in the lobby or in the waiting room or in the green room that wants a headshot. Any kind of connection that you make when you're there might be an opportunity to slip them a little information, including your headshot and resume. Now last but not least, you want to bring your monologue, the one that you worked on. This is my sheet of paper that I have all my notes on. This is where my given circumstances were listed. But on the back of this sheet of paper, this is where I double-spaced that monologue and made all those notations. Now, why do I think it's important to bring that? Because if you read the monologue with with this side facing the auditors, I had to write my monologue on top because I already had something on the back side of this. It's better to have it clearly written so you can read it. But if you have the monologue on the side, turn it over, and you have your work on this side, then as you're performing, those auditors are going to see the work that you did. And it's going to make an enormous impression. They're going to see that you really want the role, that you really put in the work, that you really went for it, that you took time out of your day and took this audition seriously. Now these 3 things are the most important thing that you want to bring with you to an audition. There might be something that I'm forgetting right now, but hey, I have an audition in an hour and I'm really nervous right now, so I'm doing everything I can to remember what I need to bring to this thing. Just gonna throw them in a backpack and away I go. 1 hour until my audition. Time to go! talk a little more about that mental preparation. I'm taking a nice long walk because it's allowing me to exert my energy, kind of get my exercise a little bit, get rid of some of that negative energy. I'm just kind of going over my monologue over and over and over. I don't give a shit that people are looking at me thinking that I'm talking to myself. You know, F them. I'm doing what I gotta do. It's really just a matter of trying to relax, trying to breathe. It's always easier said than done, but I'm giving myself a lot of time to make that happen. It's like a dog break area place.
You walk out and sing all love survive. You walk out and sing all love survive.
It's a giant sundial. Let's take a moment to talk about slate. Now, slate is very, very important to an audition. It basically is the first impression. That first impression, you know, they know if they like you or not as soon as you walk through the door. There's so many people that they just get numb. They can't focus on that many people for that long, no matter what. Which is an important reason why you should keep your monologues incredibly short. If you can keep them down to like 30 seconds, that is nice. That is real, real nice. The moment you walk through the door, you want to have your energy bursting. You don't want to be hyper. You just want to be present. You want to walk in with confidence, with a big shining face, grinning, just very welcoming. You want them to see you and be like, oh, who are you? You know, you want to make that kind of impression on them. If it's a smaller company or smaller type audition, unless like something big Broadway thing, you'll walk in, you'll see the auditors, maybe you'll go and shake their hands. You know, it'll be pretty clear when you walk in what you have to do. Just follow the lead of whatever the energy is in the room. Maybe you have to go in and submit your headshot to them or headshots. Sometimes there's somebody that brings you into the room. I guess most of the time there's somebody that brings you into the room and they'll take the headshot for you so you don't have to worry about it. But I think most often than not, you're just gonna go to your spot, greet them like, hi, how is everybody today? Just be really big, you know, really friendly, really welcoming. And so when you first walk in, bring all that energy, just hello, 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 how is everybody today? Maybe not that big. That might be a little cheesy, but that's what I do. Make sure that you speak concisely and with rhythm. Don't speed through it. Hi, my name is Charlie. Today I will be performing 2 monologues for you. The first is blah 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 by blah blah blah. Give it a second after that, because you want to give them time to scratch it down real quick. I'm going to be performing 2 monologues today. The first is blah 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 by blah blah blah. The second is blah 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 by blah blah blah. Thank you. And then after you say thank you, just kind of hold, freeze, give it a beat, give it a second or 2, and then just bust into monologue. Do not go into your monologue as soon as you finish your slate. You must give it a second, because the auditors don't know where one ends and the other begins. So make sure you give a good, clear button on that thank you. Go. So that's it. I guess just practice your slates. I guess the tips and tricks that I'm giving you are very important. They're very professional. They work for me, and if you apply those to whatever your character is or your personality is, it's gonna work for you too. That building right there, the one with the yellow, that's where I gotta go. Caught spotting a Bentley, an old shitty Bentley, but a Bentley.
You walk out and sing all love survive. You walk out and sing all love survive.
So I'm going in like 2 seconds. I'm gonna shit myself. But hey, Libby's here. All right. Tell me how you feel about this whole process thing. What do you got going? How do you prepare for something that's this insane?
I'm gonna go up in the corner. Perfect. And
That was intense. Now I could beat myself up all day thinking about, oh, I could have done this better, I could have done that differently. You know, I was so nervous that once I was actually in the room that I'm choking up on words, and since, wow, even though I was stumbling, you know, and ruining memorization, and since I wasn't actually using the book, I couldn't just glance down and make sure that it was good, so there was a couple of awkward pauses. I think overall, you know, like, I was emotionally in it, and that sold really well, and I knew my moments, and I used the text, and those are all the things that we went over when we were talking about how to prepare.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Time, it'll be good.
let's just say it was a success. Of course, I get no traction on these dress shoes. Slipping all over the place. Oh my goodness. You'll never believe what happened. The audition. Woo! So it's all over. It happened yesterday because when I got home I had to go straight to work. I didn't have time to do any filming. I'm really sorry about that. I know I wanted to try to get it off when it was fresh, but honestly, having that time to think about it and digest it a little bit was... Let me tell you about what happened when I got there. The door was locked, so I had to sneak in. So I went upstairs, and I found the little waiting room. There was a bunch of printed copies of the monologues laying around, and I was just like, who's not bringing their own monologues? That's something that you're supposed to do. I mean, that's not very good work ethic, is it? I had about 15 minutes to kill. I got there a little early, which was good. So inside of the room, there was only the director and the star of the show. They have a female playing Timon, which is kind of cool. I gave the headshot to them, and it was just like, hi, hello, how are you? I was just like, yeah, it's such a great play. And she was, you know, I was complimenting her. I was just like, that's such a juicy role. It's very dark. It's very heavy. And I said, yeah, I just saw it summer before in Ashland, Oregon, and it was just an amazing production, and, you know, super heavy. And they both said that neither of them had ever seen it before because it's so rarely done. So them as part of the production process, it's going to be the first time ever actually seeing it too, let alone working on it, which is kind of cool. So I gave my headshot over, and then they said, whenever you're ready, go ahead and start. And I was like, okay. So I went and I found my mark, and then I saw my mark, and I just took a minute, and I composed myself, and then I got into it. And let me tell you, it is exactly as I expected and not what I wanted. Meaning, my nerves were at a 20, and I knew what the words were, but I'm forgetting them at the same time, and so I'm having to think about the words as I'm saying them, which takes the naturalness out of the actions away from me. And I feel like I had practiced it enough, I had rehearsed it enough, that still it was a very well-rounded audition overall. There were some awkward pauses as I was thinking and everything, but like when I realized I was thinking, then I was just telling myself, stop thinking, just feel it. Feel that emotional arc. You know, live in that emotional arc that I had discovered earlier. And as soon as I thought about that and decided to live in the emotional arc, suddenly I was back in my body and I was living that moment, and I was acting all the different points of emphasis and moments that I had worked on before, and it turned out to be pretty good, and it ended on a really strong note. So when I was done, I was expecting maybe some kind of direction, to try something, to do something else, and they're like, thank you. And I was just like, so that's it? It was kind of awkward, but yeah, so that was it. And then on my way out, the casting director was on her way back in because she had left before the audition even started, which is kind of a bummer because I'd like to have her have seen me do a good work or a good audition so that I would stay in her memory for next things that come up, next casting possibilities. But either way, she walked me out, and that was the end of the audition. That was the end of the thing. Now, how do I feel about it? The director made one comment just as I was leaving, and what he said was, "Really nice preparation. Thank you." And that's exactly what these videos are about. You want to get that compliment. That means you did good. Well, I gotta get to work. I hope this video was informative. I hope it was helpful. If you didn't see my last one, I don't know what you're doing watching this one, but you have to watch the last one to understand what this one's all about. I'm going to do a video in the future about embodying all that text work that we did, actually putting it into your body. I don't know when that one's going to come out, but I'll try to do it as soon as possible. But the next video is just going to be a really quick recap of, did I get it or did I not? Until then,